Hello everybody, welcome to the Mild Rumpus. Today we're cleaning out the storage unit. You excited? Me too. Okay, hey, so it's October. It is the season for all things spooky and scary. And you know what's truly terrifying? The bill I get every month for this stupid storage unit. I cannot justify it anymore, so I am starting to clear things out. And what I did is I started setting aside the books that I thought were perfect for the Halloween season and just, autumn vibes. So, these are the books that came from the storage unit. Let's start with some nonfiction books. Okay, let's start off with this one. It's pretty morbid. It's a book about books. It's a librarian's investigation into books that are bound in human flesh. It's called Dark Archives. It says here, on the bookshelves around the world, surrounded by ordinary books made of paper and leather, rest other volumes of distinctly strange and grisly sort, those bound in human skin. Would you know one if you held it in your hands? And the answer to that is no, because earlier this year I went to the Antiquarian Book Festival here in New York, and there was a book that was bound in human skin. I didn't know anything about it, and I must have walked right by it. Then we have this book, A Haunted History of Invisible Women, True Stories of America's Ghost. It says, sorrowful widows, vengeful Jezebels, innocent maidens, wronged lovers, former slaves, even the occasional axe murderess. America's female ghosts differ widely in background, class, and circumstance, yet one thing unites them, their ability to instill fascination and fear long after their deaths. Here are the full stories behind some of the best known among them, as well as the lesser known, though no less powerful. I think every young kid in their life goes through this phase where they get fascinated with magic and would like to become a magician. I certainly went through that phase. It was short-lived, thank goodness. But, I was buying little magic kits and reading books about how to do tricks and renting videos and watching the David Copperfield TV specials. And during that time, I got interested in Houdini. And I think it's pretty well known that he was not a believer in psychics and mediums and basically the spirit world. He thought they were all a bunch of charlatans, and he was always debunking them. And before he died, he told his wife either a word or a phrase that only they would know. And it was his way of proving beyond the grave that no, they really could not communicate with him after his death, because no one was able to tell her what that phrase or word was. And I think that's pretty much what this book is going to be about. It's an advanced reader's copy of The Witch of Lime Street, Seance, Seduction, and Houdini in the Spirit World. Hands down, my favorite book of all time is Swan Song by Robert McCammon. I can't tell you anything about it, which means I need to reread it. And here's what it says on the back. An ancient evil roams the blasted nightmare country, an evil as old as time. He is the man with the scarlet eye, the man of many faces, gathering under his power the forces of human greed and madness. He is seeking to destroy a child, the one called Swan. From Robert R. McCammon, one of the living masters of horror, comes a stunning tale of sheer fright and power, where the end of the world is just the beginning of mankind's ultimate struggle. Now, I was very surprised to find this in my storage unit because I just bought and read this book not so long ago, and that is Peter Straub's Ghost Story. It says, what is the worst thing you've ever done? In the sleepy town of Millburn, New York, 4 old men gathered to tell one another stories, some true, some made up, all of them frightening, a simple pastime to divert themselves from their quiet lives. But one story is coming back to haunt them in their small town, a tale of something they did long ago, a wicked mistake, a horrifying accident. And they are about to learn that no one can bury the past forever. Now, this is a book that I've owned for a while and I still haven't read. It's the debut novel of an astonishing new voice in psychological suspense. 3 children leave their small Dublin neighborhood to play in the surrounding woods. Hours later, their mother's calls go unanswered. When the police arrive, they find only one of the children gripping a tree trunk in terror, wearing blood-filled sneakers and unable to recall a single detail of the previous hours. And that is In the Woods by Tana French. Ooh. And here's a copy of a classic that would be fun to read, I think, during the month of October. The Picture of Dorian Gray. This is the fingerprint edition, which I thought was going to be super fancy schmancy when I saw it online. But in all honesty, in person, it's kind of cheap. And now we get into the kind of like young adult horror. It says, at first glance, the Ravens seem like typical sorority girls, ambitious, beautiful, and smart. They're the most powerful girls on Westerly College's Savannah, Georgia campus. But the Ravens aren't just regular sorority girls, they're witches. The Ravens. Now, these next two books I owned as a kid. I ordered them through the Scholastic Book Fair. And they are 10 Great Mysteries by Edgar Allan Poe. Love that cover artwork. Iconic. And then this cover, not so much, but 8 Tales of Terror by Edgar Allan Poe. And I think everyone should read a little Poe during the month of October, don't you? And another book I absolutely loved as a kid and would gladly reread at any time is Roald Dahl's The Witches. I also love the film adaptations, both the original with Angelica Houston and the remake, which was actually more faithful to the book than the original film. But yeah, no happy endings there. This is another really fun young adult novel that is perfect for October. In fact, it's a series. It's Ghost Girl by Tanya Hurley. It's about a girl named Charlotte who she doesn't feel like she fits in, and one day she chokes on a piece of bubble gum and becomes a ghost. And I'm not going to say which streaming service, but let's just say a very popular streaming service pretty much ripped off the plot of this book and turned it into a TV series, and did Tanya Hurley, the author, pretty dirty. But this series is really popular in Mexico, and it hasn't really like taken off the way that it has there here, but I think eventually in time it will. And I don't usually listen to audiobooks, but this is one that I would recommend because Parker Posey does the reading of Ghost Girl. But really fun series, check it out. Okay, believe it or not, we are almost at the end. This next book is a graphic novel called Stitch. And just look at that artwork. If that doesn't scream Halloween, I don't know what does. It says, Stitch is an eerie comic tale of loneliness and dark magic, of old age and youthful angst. Stitch and his ragdoll family are trapped in the attic of an old house by the mysterious Granny Pearly. Menaced by a pair of nasty fairies called the Benders, and taunted by the very stinky Yum Tum Bear, Stitch and his friend Sock Monkey try to find a way out of the playroom. Along come the ghastly puppets, Voodoo Dolly and Tiny Bones. Beware. Looks absolutely bonkers. The artwork is reminiscent of the movie Coraline. And, oh look, it's a check. Now, here we have a children's storybook called Zombie in Love. Now, this doesn't have a synopsis on the back, so I'll just read the first page. Pull up a chair, boys and girls. It's story time. All right, here's the artwork. He's looking very sad, very mopey. It says, Mortimer was lonely. Cupid's ball was just a few weeks away, and he didn't have a sweetheart. Oh, he tried, but somehow the ladies didn't appreciate Mortimer's affections. Aw, poor Mortimer. Hopefully he'll be able to steal someone's heart. Now, this book has a warning on its cover. It says, this book is infectious. Plagues, pox, and pestilence. Ah! The gruesome story of deadly diseases told by the filthy pests that spread the germs. This fun and fascinating book will infect you with knowledge. Discovers history's worst epidemics from the Black Death to tuberculosis. Witness great scientific discoveries and meet the people who cooked up the cures. And join the war on germs and see how science tackles diseases in today's world. Should be a fun book for young folks. And last but not least, Oh my god, it's Goosebumps! I found a whole bunch of Goosebumps books. So I'm sure I will be reading one or two of those books for the Halloween season. And those are just a few of the books that were hiding away in my storage unit that you might consider reading during the Halloween season. If you're still here, please do me a solid. Feed that algorithm, hit the like button, leave a comment. Tell me what you plan on reading. And until next time, see you real soon.